How low can we go? The crypto space has fallen dramatically since the beginning of 2021. But the question is this the end? Are we about to reach a bottom and then pick back up? Are we on our way up right now? Is the bear market over? And there's a lot of people out there that believe that the bear market is ending or it's over and we're due for a bull market now. I think it boils down to one thing. Adoption. Is the space seeing more adoption? And really, when we say adoption, we're talking about money flowing into the space, either commercial money or retail money. Do we have large institutions pouring money into the space? Are they using the tools available more than they did previously? Are we seeing retail users using the space more? Are we seeing more of their money flowing in? And I think the reality there is that while we've had some lasting improvements, we're seeing the opposite. And if we really dig down deep and ask ourselves the question, okay, the adoption that we're seeing, does it outpace the inflation of the currency, of the prices that people are paying in stores for their basic necessities, for their rent? Is adoption outpacing the inflation costs plus the cost of this economic decline that we're experiencing? And I think if you take a deep look at the economy and the state of where we are right now, it's pretty obvious. No, it's not even close. We've made some significant improvements in adoption. There's more people using certain services in the crypto space. Reddit onboarded a ton of people into NFTs, but the reality is, does that result in larger market caps for these currencies? Does that result in higher prices? And I think the answer is no. There's three things that we have to look at when we're thinking about, okay, are these assets going to increase in value? The biggest indicator is price. Obviously, price is the first piece of data we have about where market sentiment is headed. The second is demand. And well, the third is just public sentiment, right? Price gives us a number of indications as to where things are headed, whether it'll be more valuable in future. Demand gives us a heads up on, okay, are there people out there who want this thing more? Are there more people who want it? And then public sentiment, where do people think it's heading? And I think each of those factors is quite bearish at the moment. And that's not to say that the potential has changed. The potential for the space is exactly the same. In fact, the use case is becoming more and more clear. And I believe that's why some people think that we're due for it to pick up. Because, well, now everybody can see how valuable crypto is. But the reality is, if it were just educational, if the problem were that people just didn't know how valuable crypto was, then we'd already be there. There's been a ton of stuff coming out. The reality is that it's new and it's strange and it's risky in people's minds. And even though it may be more clear that it's better than the centralized options, than the custodial traditional economy, I don't think people are going to hop the fence super quickly. That may happen over time. I think it will definitely happen a year or two from now, to a great extent. But I don't think it's going to happen immediately. So are they going up in the short term? I don't think so. Me personally, I don't believe so. When the economic damage comes, when the real estate market crashes, when the dollar collapses, when a number of these crises hit, are people going to start fleeing into crypto? Possibly. There's an argument to be made there. People could flee into it the way that they have with precious metals in the past. But again, I think hanging our hopes on that is a bit risky. If you need the money in the short term, in the next 12 to 24 months, I would not hang your hopes on cryptocurrencies or NFTs. I would hold on to something that people will definitely need in the next 12 to 24 months. And, we can ask ourselves the question, okay, isn't crypto uncorrelated with the traditional economy? That's a big argument that people put forward, that, hey, these aren't going to fall the same way as other assets because they're different, they're unique. And that is true, but until there's mass adoption, until the ecosystem is fully built and fully functional, and we're not quite there yet, but until that mass adoption hits, they're very, very correlated with this space. If we ask the question, okay, how much of the crypto boom was really based on speculation, on people buying in, hoping they'd get a better return? The reality is that most of it, I believe that most of it was based on speculation. And if we think about it, if we sit down and think about it, okay, what have been the most devastating moments in the past couple months here? Well, Voyager going bankrupt, the FTX explosion, the Celsius debacle. We're having these little blips of destruction in the space, and it's all based on custodial finance. It's where you put your money in someone else's hands. And the question is, why would people put their money in someone else's hands? Because they're trying to get a return on it. They're trying to increase the amount of money, and they're speculating. It's a form of gambling, the staking. People want to get a significant return on their money, and so they're taking advantage of these exchanges and the staking opportunities and all of this. But the reality is that these are the same things we fled in traditional finance. These custodial exchanges, these centralized opportunities, they're exactly what the crypto space the blockchain was supposed to fix. And we brought them back because the volatility creates opportunities for amazing gains. And these financial Ponzi's, I think is the best word for them, they offer all sorts of leverage opportunities. And so we can make wonderfully large amounts of money with very small amounts. But the reality is that they create an unstable ecosystem, a fragile ecosystem. And in traditional finance, okay, so if one bank has trouble, other banks can help bail it out. And then if that doesn't work, the government can help bail them out. And if that doesn't work, the global central bank network can bail out the governments. And that's all been fine and dandy. Except now, we're seeing that the central banks are having a problem and there's no one to bail them out. But that all worked well in traditional finance for quite some time, or well enough. They were able to get away with it. Let's put it that way. They were able to get away with it. But in the crypto space, it's too honest. The blockchain doesn't lie. And so when the pressures are put on these flimsy institutions, they fall apart. And the fraud collapses. And that's what we're seeing. These fractional reserve schemes are not specific to crypto. They exist. Your bank is a fractional reserve institution. They exist all throughout the traditional economy. And the reality is that we're going to see extreme damage in the real economy as well. But crypto is not going to escape that speculation bubble. It's popping. And we're seeing it pop first in crypto. And I think when this all collapses, crypto will come back faster because there's the algorithm takes on the role of a trusted agent. Whereas in traditional finance, we have to choose individuals to trust. We have to choose that the bankers know what they're doing with our money. That they're not going to lose on their investments and squander the money that's in their vaults so that we'll lose everything that we have. We trust them. We put our trust in those individuals. But with the blockchain, with Bitcoin, we no longer have to. Like, Satoshi created a system that was trustless for the first time in human history. That math determined the transactions. And that's absolutely huge. So the potential is still there. And that's why I think when these crash to their bottom, they will come back, and they will come back faster than the real economy. But they will go a lot lower because this boom in crypto, it was not a solid boom. It was not businesses solidifying a stable entry into the crypto space. They weren't they weren't building strong foundations. They were building speculative foundations. Everybody was. Everybody just wanted to ape in and make their 100x, their 1000x. And that's blowing up in our faces. That bubble hasn't fully popped yet. And the fact that it was so much speculation means that as the economy gets worse, people will have less and less to speculate with. They will need their money more and more. And so where are they going to get their value? They're going to pull it out of crypto. They're going to pull it out of their NFTs. Because holding on to a Bored Ape when you're about to lose your house, when you're about to lose everything, just doesn't make sense to people anymore. They're going to sell the assets that they have in order to mitigate the damage in their real life. People have to pay rent. They have to make sure that their family's taken care of. I think we've got a long way to go. I think we're going to see ETH back at $300. Whether or not that's true, we're definitely going to see these altcoins plummet. And we need to be prepared. Have enough assets in things that people value, that people need, so that you don't have to worry. I think holding on to NFTs and crypto is great if you can afford to. Because the long-term game, it is still there. The potential is still there. But you have to be able to afford to hold on. Because if you wait and you have to sell your assets in 6 months, in a year, for a fraction of what they are now, that's just going to hurt worse. So make sure that you've got assets in things that are valuable, things that people need. What are the things that someone will actually need 6 months from now, that they will need 12 months from now? Hold enough of that you don't have to worry about anything else. Because the dollar might collapse. But you know what people are going to need? They're going to need energy. They're going to need food. They're going to need housing. They're going to need transportation. The same things that people have needed all throughout thousands of years of human history. So, create a plan to keep yourself safe, structure it well, and be prepared for what's coming. Stabilize your income, stabilize your assets, be prepared. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I'm hard at work, been plugging away on Twitter, up to 600 followers. So thank you for anybody that's been following me there. And thank you guys so much for tuning into these videos. I enjoy making them. I want to put a lot more trading content out soon. I'm just sorting out a ton of stuff in my life, but I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.